Back to another episode of Leading Crypto. We've got a Friday weekly roundup here for you. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum as always, a couple others as well. Just kind of get a little pulse on the market as we kind of come into the weekend price action, volume, come to a close, things of that nature. So we come to you live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, coming up with all the crypto analysis, Bitcoin especially, and Ethereum. So if you do like that content, please be sure to like and subscribe. And we're just going to jump right on into it. So Magic is back with us today, and we'll probably go ahead and start off with him with some Bitcoin analysis.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just actually pulling up the stream on another screen real quick here, guys, so I can read the chat and send it out for the masses on Twitter. And so we are good to go. Yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin. We're working off the same levels here. So, the key is how you've positioned yourself and how you've planned for these levels, I guess. That's what's going to differentiate you in the market in terms of what you're looking to do. So, on Bitcoin, that's a messy chart. We're on the daily, aren't we? Get down to the 1 hour. Not necessarily the crack, but close enough. So this is your monthly and your weekly profile, and this was kind of the area I was looking for support last night. Looking for a push up into the previous week high, and then potentially the daily and Q2 low over time. So we'll get rid of some of this stuff here, and I do want to take a look at the merged range just real quick, just to see if it's changed at all. I really doubt that it has. And where did I put that? Well, oh, there it is. It's already on. Let's see. There we go. So you can see that the merged range here is showing us that we've now come up to the top of it. The value area high has shifted a little bit, and we found a little bit of a rejection on the previous week high. So again, the key level that we're going to be looking at was the weekly open coming into this region, which it just blasted through. But I've mentioned this before many times, actually. And just because something isn't resistance on the way up, like it wasn't here, even though it was resistance previously, doesn't mean it won't be support on the way down. So you're coming back to support, you're closing on top of that support, and we're looking to see if this can consolidate between this weekly open and this previous week high. Main reason being is consolidation under resistance can be bullish and give us that leg up into the daily right here in the Q2 low. So that would be what I'd want to see still. I still want to see if we can make that move. Now, if you were looking at this in terms of, areas to get long off of, we went off of the Monday low. So this was the level that I gave the other day. I was sick yesterday, but you can see this was the Monday low. You've got this nasty wick down here. I think Max called it out in the group that this low would be taken because basically you had a lot of longs enter and they didn't really do anything with it. So Bitcoin's probably looking for quite a bit of liquidity right now just because the volume has been so dead. So you get this stop hunt on Bybit and then the move, resumes. And once you're above, even if you're late to the move around 16,880, give or take, you're still looking for that Monday high and the range high overall at the previous week high. So still a really nice trade for those that wanted to take it. But yeah, so until we're actually living below the weekly open, I'm still looking for this to consolidate here and see what kind of consolidation we get. Maybe we get that push up into this Q2 low and eventually the monthly pivot above us, right? So that's what we'd want to be seeing. Now, the instance that you give up the weekly open, I guess this also is in line with the mid-range of your Monday range. That implies that the week is overall going to be in a ranging format. That's why we look at the Monday range. So during times of range throughout the week, which is a medium time frame to high time frame, depending on what kind of trader you are, this is going to be indicative and let you know if we're in consolidation or if we're going to be doing something from a market structure standpoint, such as expanding. So you can see straight away Monday high, VWAP. What do we always say about the VWAP when we're looking for a trending move? You really need to be above it. That's also coinciding with this Monday high. That also keeps us above the weekly open, and it puts pressure onto this previous week high again, right? That would be the area I'd be looking for. So yeah, I would keep it fairly simple here if I were, a trader. Now, the moment that we start giving up the weekly open or the mid range, you could bring this from 17,039 up to 17,095. We could probably adjust this a little bit and say that this is now the must hold support, even though that was kind of the support region I was looking for right here, which did its job. You start losing this and, Monday low is here. Again, we're talking about ranges, and you've got the New York session point of control from yesterday on the move up. But realistically, then it looks like this is going to want to fill out a little bit more. And what you'll notice is that you have high volume nodes coming into the middle of this with tapering volume on the sides, which is a bell shape or a capital D-shaped range. And that just implies that you're going to remain range bound. So that's what I'd be looking for in that instance. I wouldn't be looking for doom or gloom necessarily. I would be looking to take advantage of the short-term plays and continue to, I wouldn't say look for longs necessarily, but I think it would be opportunistic to at least take them on an intraday basis. Just like right here, if you were to get in right here, this is a really nice move. You had the ABCD right here, really nice move into this pullback. Another nice move at the previous week high, back to the EQ essentially of the previous week, and then up you go. So there's a lot of like little, trades here and there that you guys can take advantage of. And that's really what this channel is about, is the intraday trading, not just the, the macro, like, hey, is the bottom in? You'll hear us talk about that quite a bit. Is the bottom in? We can do a little bit of high time frame stuff real quick here, but I don't think that there is any evidence that the bottom is in yet. A lot of people are going to be pointing to on-chain stuff. And if you guys have learned anything in 2021 and 2022, is that on-chain does not mean shit. The macro environment for which like price is interacting in. So that means like what the interest rates are doing. Are we in quantitative easing, tightening? What's the, the relationship to the world in terms of like, is it in turmoil? Because markets do like stability. What's going on with elections? That's going to bear way more weight than a hodler date on-chain metric. And those are all very easily manipulated in my opinion. So that kind of doesn't really give them a whole lot of credibility. But so what we'll do real quick here is kind of talk about an idea that we've talked on and touched on weeks ago. And that is going to be this one right here. Get rid of our VWAPs. We talked about this quarter two low, specifically at 17,567. And we discussed how when everyone was looking for this 2019 fractal, including myself, we're all looking for it. Like, is this going to come back into play? Because this was such a nasty, time frame. You had a really big descending triangle here, right? And we knew that we had the low right here from quarter three. Okay, so we'll mark this off as the Q3 low. And I'm going to leave it as a solid line. I'm just going to change it to white here. And bring this up. My mouse must be going dead, the battery, because it's starting to make me click multiple times. If you look at the quarter three low here, and we'll get rid of all these NPOCs, they're just in the way. There we go. Quarter three low. Is the quarter three low important? Yes, 100% it's important. Same with right down here. You did a nice swing failure pattern all the way down here, right? And you can see that. And that was your resistance before a break up in both occasions. And again, we'll change the color on that to white. So just marking out key lows, guys, can take you a lot further than some of this high-end technical stuff. But what did you do right here after this big triangle? Everyone's looking for $6,000. But you hit 72 right here. I think it was like 72.74, and then you got 10,350 to backfill the NPOC from that quarter, right? So you did eventually come down to those $6 levels after establishing this resistance and then making a new low. So in the instance of Bitcoin here, could we do something similar? Well, it's all predicated on that quarter two low at 17,567. To get back above this, you know that I've been a proponent of the TPO point of control at 19,150. Also, if you're using the 40 tick or just using the tools that are available to you on TradingView, you have the volume point of control according to TradingView coming in right here at 19,150 as well. But realistically, it's kind of a zone because the 20K area is actually the volume on ATAS. That is the volume point of control, but the time point of control is here. So nonetheless, this is a really big area. It's your overall gold pocket from high to low. And we've touched on it multiple times, and it would fill in some of this inefficiency. So we could see a rally like that. And if you're looking for triggers for that, 17.5 is the trigger. Just like down here, big descending triangle, reclaim, whatever you need to. In this instance, you had a slightly different trigger because it's a little bit lower, but everyone's looking for further downside. Everybody's looking for 10K, right? Everybody's looking for 8K. Maybe we do roll over here and we see those targets. However, if you get a push up, don't just fall in love with that the bottom is in. There's going to be a lot of people chirping that, and no one really knows, not even me. So don't even listen to me. Just trade the charts to the best of your ability. And if you get back above this, you have to understand that, 18K is a target. You've got the value area low as your next target, 18,683. And then you've got a really big target here at the gold pocket in this volume point of control and TPO point of control, right? So that's really all you guys need to be doing. I do want to look at one thing. Yeah, look at that. There is your new quarter coming in at 18,000 as well. So 18K. So even if we get above 17.5, you really should be boxing this off between the Q2 low and this $18,000 region at this point. This is going to be that support resistance flip that you need to see. You flip this, probably going to retest 19.1 to 19, I would say 6. And the reason I do that is it's the previous all-time high. We've discussed this before. So if you go out to like Bitstamp, 19,666 is the previous all-time high, which is one of my favorite numbers because you guys know how I feel about the devil. We're all down with the devil here. So in that instance, you get back above, 17,592 on Bitstamp, but that doesn't have the prior all-time high on Bybit because it wasn't around. You still need to get back above 19.6 and live there because that's your old range high, right? So if we're just looking from a structural range, you still have to get back above that. So can this rally? Yes. That's why I say take the intraday trades, take the best trades available. That's what we're here to do, is provide you with good trades throughout the, throughout the days and the weeks. But ultimately, you have to have a high time frame view as well. But if you don't recover 17.5, it's all a moot point, and you're aiming for the low of the range again, which is going to come in around $16,000, maybe even a hair underneath it. So looks like there is your yearly pivot right around 27. So that'll be an interesting target depending on where the year closes here at the end of December. I don't have anything else on Bitcoin. I don't think that there's any questions. We'll make sure real quick. On my way to work. Down with the devil. Yeah. So let's get rid of some of the stuff on this chart. We'll take a quick peek at SPX, kind of doing what we talked about. So remember how we said that this is resistance. You're not trying to catch the end of the move. I did post it on Twitter for the public as well as in the group. We've had this level on our chart, 39.2341, for quite some time. And if you recall, that's the level I've been saying you still got to give this level up to see this box. This is technically the target of the setup. However, it would be a first take profit. Or if you were looking to long this because you're like, Magic's never going to see this box, I'm going long here. This is an appropriate long because you now have a stop loss. You now have risk management in place. You go down to the 15-minute just to see how well is the level being respected. And it's wonderful. You've got higher lows across the board. You had some consolidation here, some kind of a symmetrical triangle led to a breakout. So, if you're in the stock market, this was a really nice trade. And they're probably out of that trade. A lot of people are if they're day traders. Like that was just probably a day trade. But realistically, what do we need to see? I've been a proponent of in the immediate short term, you still need to reclaim 4,028. You reclaim that, you're living out of the regression. You're actually back above the prior local high. And it would look like it wants to challenge this new high or at least take the new high. And we can start taking, and you can see my alert is up here, 4,022, because I want to see this high taken potentially. So, when will I know that that's going to become reality? This is the level that has to get taken out. So we'll add a secondary alert to it. And, that's really all we're going to do with that. Unless you're scalping this level, there's really no other trade to take. Unless you're short from here, stop loss all the way above the high, which I think the risk to reward on that's pretty terrible. So especially considering you're only looking down to here. I haven't looked at Dixie in a while, the Dixie chicks. So I'm going to have a good go at it real quick. Maybe. Yeah, so Dixie still not recovering. 105.34. That's really the level I want to see recovered. Or this, you guys, there's probably going to be a million people drawing this trend line, which, however you get by in the market is acceptable. Just because I don't do it doesn't mean it's invalid. So you do have the potential for a little like daily time frame double bottom here. Getting back above 105.34 would look like it wants to validate that and head up to like 106.72 and then 107.69. And you go from there. And I think that this is 107.27 is the weekly. So you'd still be looking at this zone right here first before we could even consider this box. But, if this is rallying and the SPX is giving up 39.23 and Bitcoin's giving up its weekly open around, 17,097, things all kind of work in concert. You see how that happens. However, when Bitcoin was putting in this secondary move to the highs, what was the SPX doing after the dump? Hitting support, right? So support is being struck. Bitcoin is taking a secondary move upwards, and the DXY was failing to break back above that 105.34 level right here. So again, everything works in concert, and you guys are probably wondering what the heck that is right there. I'll show you in case you're new to the channel. You guys know how much I like harmonics, and this was a really big one. And I called this hopium a while back. This was the hopium that you were going to get this bearish bat, and you did get it. And now you're looking at a complete bearish engulfing candle potentially on the 3-month, depending on how this year closes, which is wild to think about after this massive run up. So this is starting to look more and more like, yeah, this thing is probably topped out for a little bit. And I do expect to see 102, which is a back test of this old range. And then from there, 96, 89 are the next levels. I'm not saying you're going to see those, but you start living below 102, and the likelihood of not at least seeing that 96.52.9 is probably not very good. I just feel like you would. But the overall technical target of this on a reversal is actually the B leg, all the way down here at 89. So that would mean the dollar is getting absolutely wrecked in traditional markets. So we'll see how that goes and what's going on with the markets, as this progresses, because it's a really high time frame chart. And, a lot can happen in the last month of the year, but also it could come down here, hit this, maybe even hit, 96 and then reverse, and we never see these levels. So, keep that in mind. This is going to take time to play out. This is going to take years to play out if this is actually a top. So that's all I would really say about that. I don't really have anything else. I feel like I've been talking for a while, so I'm going to turn it over to Max.
What a masterclass. That was great stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go over the order flow side of things. Now, I'm leaving the lines up for a little bit. I know it's always messy when they come on. But yeah, like we said yesterday, you could see a load of longs coming in, got taken out. And yeah, Magic mentioned before the stream, you did have a 4-hour close above the Monday low. Was the entry for when you could have got in had you not got the SFP. I kind of just walked away from the chart a little bit and then missed this move. But however, we moved, next day came, and we were above the previous day value high. So I seen Richard Wright call it in that, the Dalton. It is on. You have had the 2 30-minute candle closures. So theoretically, you should statistically hit the previous day point of control, which is quite a way down. Now, the trades that I've personally taken today, because the volume has been, it came up here and then, continued to drop off. The volume was really low. But then we had a really strange wick earlier where you came up, took all highs. You took the previous week high, the previous day high. Did you take any other highs? And you also tapped the not the previous day, but a point of control from, I believe it was Monday. Yes, you tapped the naked point of control that was left on Monday. So you had a few things there to signal, this is a possible area for a reversal. And, you got the swing failure pattern as easy as that. As soon as you, even if you waited for the candle close, you'd have been okay. I personally jumped in because I was bored and wanted to trade. And you could see from the move up, it was actually a really weak move. You had a huge decrease in open interest initially. And then as shorts started to come in, they brought the open interest back up a little bit. But the delta was, very positive considering. So you can tell that any shorts that did get taken out, they were, taken over effectively. Their positions were handed to someone else that was prepared for the swing failure pattern. And then we got the move down. TP was really quick because you have to TP at the lows of the day, and which was also the previous day high. So really nice, quick TP on that. Second TP came in just above the pivot, which also came and we closed the single prints from yesterday. So in the move up, we just got these single prints and we came and closed them in that little wick down. Now, with us where we are, I've not really got too much to say other than the fact that, the move has had a lot of shorts piling in here at the lows. And this move up is to try and possibly squeeze them out. But if we take in, I'm going to just say above the VWAP and, hold the lows that were made earlier, get back above the previous day value area high. The target previous day point of control, and it's some way away. It's down at 16,813. It is a solid setup if it does move down there. Now, if you take the trade here, I would say you can either put your stop loss above the high. That's the safest one to do, and it's not too far, is it? It's $200, about a percentage just over. Or you can play it bit by ear. So have that as your hard stop loss. And if you can see us start to claim this area, start to really get in here and look like losing it effectively. So you want market structure. You want to see buyers start to come in. I'm going to hide these. That's what I was looking for. You want to see buyers start to come in and continue up here, or then you can close out your trade a bit earlier, which is kind of what I'm doing. I've left my stop loss at entry, so it's just above these guys. And then if it gets in here and I can see a lot of buying strength come in, I'll just secure a little bit more profit on that trade. But if not, I am looking to take that down to the previous day point of control and hopefully take out some of the buyers that were building early. You can spot them here. Granted, the volume is really abysmal, but you have got plenty of buyers coming in. You can tell by zooming out and looking at the CVD slowly increasing with the open interest also increasing. Granted, it's not too much, but considering what we were doing, there is traders there to be trapped if they haven't already been taken out. So if we can't get back above here, LRA states that you're going to reject from here, as we are already somewhat doing. Just need to find the shorters are pretty much in control now. It's the thing to be aware of. Now it's whether they can play their hand, or if they don't and they stall here, and you start to get back in here, well, then you can go over to what Magic was mentioning, where you're looking for them higher targets and it's consolidating below resistance. Really quick stuff. I'm sorry that I haven't got too much to say. But yeah, rather quick one. Areas that I'm also looking for, well, you've got the golden pocket there, golden pocket there, but not too interested on that one. I would be looking for that naked point of control down at the range value area low for this month. So I prefer that than these two, the point of control and the range val. Sorry, I prefer this one here than to them two, obviously because it will make me have more profits. But I will check the reactions when we get there, because I'm already happy with what I've already locked in. But I'll check the reactions when I get there. If there's buyers and it's clearly gonna turn around, I will just cut it short there or move my stop loss down depending. But yeah, I don't really want to go over too much because I think Magic's done a pretty much masterclass on trading view there. I've not really got much else to say.
He should take more days off, man. He comes back refreshed. No, that's good, man. And yeah, nothing better than that. I mean, we've really had actually a decent week, really looking back on some of the plays here, right? So I'm going to take a look at Ethereum here in a second too, and just kind of go over a couple of the moves we saw this week as well. So, our Friday, roundup is pretty much based on this, right? So let me see if I can share me screen. Ethereum. All right. So, just kind of looking at this in the sense, and this is what we were talking about earlier, is how, basically, I mean, since Thursday the 10th, price action has been, let's just say within, I mean, that's actually a big drop, obviously. So, 10 to 20% within the last week and a half, it's been within 10, 11%. So anybody that's just, holding things, which, obviously we have long-term holds as well. It's not to say that you have to trade everything, and that's definitely not the idea by any means, but, trading the range is definitely beneficial, as far as building up more capital. It's going to take, a strategy. It takes a lot of time, patience, effort, and energy. This is making money, right? So it's just like work. You're going to have to put some work in. But for the average person that just, is watching the market day in, day out, checking their portfolio, I mean, you are nowhere that we haven't been since a month ago, right? So 1 month time has elapsed, and you probably haven't made a single, dollar, give or take, if you haven't been making any moves. And, to just, aimlessly, empty out your spot position and buy, and that's not the idea here. So in the interim, the short-term trades at hand, once again, they're there, and like with Ethereum, I've taken 3 trades this week. Dogecoin was over last weekend, right? So that was our weekend warrior last weekend. 25% on Dogecoin. We had, Bitcoin, a couple of opportunities there as well. Ethereum was, I think, 68% on Monday, right? So we came up here. We did have a Dalton in place on Ethereum that day. You'll note where these highs are coming in. I don't have it marked right here, but this is essentially the monthly open, right? So these areas are key to, kind of keep in mind. These are the areas that, get defended, whether it's support or resistance as we come into them or out of them. And you get these, these just massive I say massive, but you get these, opportunities here, right? So here was a really good example. You got the shoot up, basically the SFP, the monthly open, comes back, close below. You had a Dalton in play down to the, at that time we had the weekly pivot right here. I believe it was like 1247, give or take. So a 4% move, a little bit of leverage, or even just 4% in general. I mean, you take 4% just in this, one trade on no leverage or 1x short. That's a decent move for the week. Right, like I said, nobody that's been holding Ethereum for 1 month has made basically a penny in the sense. So take that out. Obviously, you allocate that towards whatever, yada yada. Anyways, that was one of the moves we took this week. Next one we were looking for, right, was the previous week range here. Ran it back up to the high. Once again, monthly open holds us down. And this is the time when we had Bitcoin take the hit as well. So previous week value area low comes into play. Holds it up really nicely, right? So this was the entry. If you didn't catch this is more actually a target, more so on a short. The entry was really on the new day. You had a new daily key level. You had the VWAP. You had the daily open right here. This is actually where I took my recent long, right at 1228. I'm still in that long. I did take most profit out yesterday at the weekly open. So I'm trying to see if I can take this any higher. Either way, it's a winner, right? Really nice one at that. And if I get stopped out, it is what it is. But that's kind of where we're getting at here. So it's just been a really good week on basically 10% of up and down here. So we'll move on and continue from there. So taking a look at the price action where we are now. If you guys didn't check it out last night, by the way, check out Debate Crypto last night. Crypto Face, myself, Crypto Keeper, we were on there. It was a pretty good episode, pretty entertaining. Started talking about some random stuff, but really covered a good amount of things as well. So check out their channel. They have us on quite often. They do a really good show. But yeah, for Ethereum, monthly open, once again, keeping us down, right? So you got weekly open. When we were talking about how, very similar to Bitcoin, that's an area you really want to see claimed. We lost that for today. Our daily open is actually right here as well. I just didn't mark it because it's basically the same level. You lost your VWAP. So short term, we're living below these areas right now. Daily key level was our, major target coming into today. So that's obviously been met. It's been met with Bitcoin as well. Taking a look at a Dalton here for Ethereum. We do have that set up in play on Bitcoin. However, you don't have it on Ethereum quite yet. So this is our previous day range right here. Essentially, living back in this region. Once again, statistical hit rate pretty high to come back down in the previous day point of control, about 1250. One thing to, sometimes you could not pre-run, but losing the daily open, losing the VWAP, things of that nature. Obviously, that's an entry for a short. Like I said, the first take profit really would have been this daily key level. From there, you'd probably aim to bring it down to like 1250 and then possibly all the way back down to the Val, 1223. The thing about these Daltons, though, and this is what I wanted to, I know that Rightway's been really active in the group about the Daltons, and they can be very lucrative, but you can't marry, just like anything else, right? You can't marry the Daltons. We've seen many come and go where, you'll get 3 really, really great ones that play out perfectly. Everybody sees it in the group, and then the next one, will alert it. And then it's like everybody gets married to it, goes over leveraged, expecting that it has to come down, and it just, you got to have the context of where you are, right? So on the chart. So still have to really lose for me for Ethereum. To see any lower today, the level to watch is 1265. Otherwise, it's still weekly open. Get above that 1278. Monthly open is at the moment the next short-term major area, and I'm still targeting the untapped monthly up here 1350. So, let's take a look at the developing week here too, just to kind of get a little glance as we're coming into the weekend. A lot of times you'll see, we do the Saturday pumps equals Sunday dumps deal, right? And a lot of the times all that is a range rotation of the week. So you'll get a push to the high, and then Sunday will reopen and you get a pull back down to the low. So just for S and Gs, let's just see what we're looking like now. Right. So all right, so another, at the moment, this is developing, so, not something to just completely ride home about, but, this can change. But you are essentially back into the developing weekly range, possibly getting a back test right here. So, in the sense or in the case of trying to enter a short, the recipe is there. You definitely have, your clear and validation here above either weekly open VWAP. You can take it all the way up here. This is a really large stop loss, of course. It's like 2%, so I probably wouldn't, go with that route. Yeah, coming down, if we get the rejection here, you very well could start coming down, see that previous day point of control. What was it, like 1250, come down to the developing week. For me, I'm still, in the camp that we, may see some more upside here in the short term, but that's got to remain neutral. So if this does occur, like I said, I entered the trade yesterday, 1228. I'm already majority out in profit right here. So if it comes back down, is what it is. If we start to really see some areas get lost right here, and paying attention with Bitcoin, looking at the order flow, the open interest, it's going to get some triggers there. So and this is just a short term, right? So just probably chopping around in this region. Otherwise, break it out, and the 1350, aka upward of about 18K, probably for Bitcoin, or the 17.6. That would pretty much be in line, right, with a move like that. And we'll see how things continue from there. You have some, we didn't even touch on, which, a lot of time we don't really touch on the news. I know today we had, what was it, PPI come out, I guess, a little heavier. So, that's going to give the average person if we do see a decent little pullback here in the market, that'll be everybody's why. But, I hope that you can see that the technical reasons behind here, and it really does come down to, you just have to be able to react to how the price is moving, strategize for both options, but have your triggers for either one, and adapt as we kind of go here. So it's the name of the game. It's about all I got. Nice little Friday wrap up with the boys here. Let's see if Max and Magic got anything else to add. Otherwise, we'll salute you all to a beautiful weekend.
I got nothing.
Perfect.
Get update as usual.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, so if anybody's interested, we did just post a half off first month special, by the way, for anybody that's looking to join the Leading Crypto Discord server. Information for that is below. If you are interested in the Discord, I put an announcement with the instructions there. Just coupon code BTC22 for the holiday half off special. We're going to end the year out offering up a 1 month basically for half off. So if you're on the fence, or if you have been on the fence, or if you'd like to come in and chat with us and trade with us and mess around with a bunch of good guys and gals, be sure to give it a try. Otherwise, we're here every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We got the members only market update in the group on Sunday night after the weekly close. I imagine it'll be a good one. Basically kind of cover all of our trade ideas going into the week. And like I said, we got the 14th coming up Wednesday, right? So big Fed day. Magic Internet Money and Gareth Soloway are going to be on Sin City Crypto on the 14th, I think right at the announcement time. So that'll be a good episode and a good show. And then with that being said, have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are. Until next time, cheers.